Perfect. Okay, I see tons of people coming in. So thank you guys. We're a minute or two behind. We're going to give it another minute or two just to let everyone in the room. But in the meantime, we'd love to hear from you in the chat. So if you want to go ahead and drop in the chat, tell us about your food truck. What do you guys serve? What's the food? What's the drink? What's both? And for bonus points, feel free to tell us where you're located. So hey, Adam, good to see you.
Hello.
Yeah, we got quite a few people jumping in. And quick reminder here too, if you want to turn your camera on, we'd love to see you, but we will ask that you mute yourself. So got a few folks that came off mute. We could ask that you mute yourself for this presentation. All right, so Bill is in Florida. I'm based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Adam serves barbecue and Cajun. Yum. I'm based in Indiana. So again, if you're just coming in, we would love to hear from you in the chat. Tell us about your food truck. What do you guys serve? And if you want brownie points, tell us where you're located. Cheryl's got barbecue based in Maine. Yum. Warren, who you'll hear from today, he's in cold, cold Minnesota. All right, perfect. I know we had a few more people that registered, but we will go ahead and get started. We are recording this, so if you want to hit the next slide for me, that would be great. Would love to just do some quick introductions. My name is Kaylee Hagan. I'm the Director of Membership and Growth here at the National Street Food Vendors Association. We are sponsoring this webinar today along with EasyEats, who's one of our gold sponsors. Want to introduce the two people you're going to be hearing from today, the first of which is Bill Moore, who's our Executive Director here at NSFVA. And then you're also going to be hearing from Warren Nash, who's the co-founder and CEO at EasyEats. Again, we're very thankful for their partnership here, and we're excited to have both with us today. So without any further ado, let's get into it. During this session, feel free to pop your questions in the chat. You can write to the group or write to me individually. We will look through them and we'll share questions at the end. Take it away, guys.
Thank you so much. I'm going to get this set up for Warren, then we'll let him take over and tell y'all all about how to do hybrid ordering is what it's called, or skip the line. Because the goal is for you to be able to put more people through your food truck on a daily basis. So we're going to talk about 3 distinct ways that EasyEats will help you to bring more people in and then get them through, because that's what's important. We don't want them all standing in line and thinking, well, I should go somewhere else. So we're going to teach them how to skip the line in some cases, and then how to set yourself up for success so that all those guests are super impressed and ready to eat more food with you tomorrow. So what is hybrid ordering? It's a relatively new term in restaurants because we're always creating new jargon to make it sound like we know more than someone else. But the thing about hybrid ordering, if you think about a vehicle, especially a hybrid vehicle, it's going to have a gasoline engine, it's going to have some type of electric engine, and then depending upon the demand that the car is facing at that particular moment, it knows whether to switch to electric if it's in town, for example, or if you're out on the highway, we can do gasoline where it's more efficient. And then there are some cases where it could be a combination of the two, to where it help extend the miles per gallon of the car, but still make it run very efficiently. So what we're going to be doing is the same thing, explain to you how your POS system can help you have that hybrid ordering. So here's the problem. You have long lines at lunch. We all love long lines. The problem is you lose sales, and you may not realize it. I talk about a long line that I've observed, and I'm not inside the food truck, I'm outside the food truck. The end of that line is very nebulous. People come and go, and you don't want that. Because if they go, they've got a bad impression of you. No matter how long your line is, it's still your fault. The line was long and wasn't moving. The other problem you're facing is chaos, especially when it's peak business. If you're still doing paper tickets, that's certainly going to create chaos. Mistakes are going to get made, especially when you're busy. Wrong order is going to go to the wrong person. We're going to talk about how to prevent some of those things from happening. And then you always have the one we all talk about, the inconsistent order pickup. You got all the dudes standing around talking. They know their order's coming up, and you are hollering their name or their number, and they are still engaged talking about last night's football game and totally ignoring you. We see that happen a lot more than we want it to happen. And then, of course, the owner being stuck at the register instead of leading the team, or the owner stuck on the line with a blue million tickets up there, not leading the team. So what is hybrid ordering? It's a combination of walk-up, mobile, and scheduled pre-orders. All the channels feed to one place, and that's the kitchen display system, kitchen display screen, KDS. The guest chooses their preference on how they want to order it. They can do face-to-face and say, hey, I would love to have a cheeseburger. Or they can pull out their phone, scan that QR code, and place the order, and they'll have to stand in line. Or they can even, from their office, order it before they ever leave the office. And you still get the order in real time as far as when to make it based on how you have your POS system set up. And the neat thing, no more hollering out a name. They get an automatic text that lets them know when the food's ready. So you're not having to holler out the name and hoping somebody hears you. And I am going to let Warren take over from here. I believe this is your slide. If not, I can jump in.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah. So Warren's in charge now.
All right. Let's see. Do I have control here? Click. I do. All right. All right. Sounds good. Okay. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bill. Great setup for me there. Appreciate it. I'll try to speak to the slides here as best as possible. If anyone has questions, like Kaylee said at the start, please put them in chat. If I miss something, happy to come back to it at the end. So I'll be repeating a little bit of what Bill said, but starting off with how guest expectations have changed. As technology changes and people's expectations changes, they tend to want to be able to increase their convenience. And for some generations, even the younger generations, decrease the amount of interaction they have to have with people to get what they want out of a situation. As a food truck owner, you do have to balance managing your face-to-face interactions because you do want to build your brand, which is the value of having those face-to-face interactions, but also balance that with, well, some customers just want to order real quick from their phone, not have to talk to anyone, not give anything, just order quick, grab their food and go. So one of the areas that expectations have changed more recently, especially for food trucks, is being able to just find on a map where the food truck is and be able to order directly from their phone. Let's see, they want a live status on the orders and communication when it's ready. The downside with ordering online, at least, say 10 years ago or so, if you're ordering from your computer, you wouldn't always have great instant feedback on whether the order has been received. And within a food truck setting, the timetables are so fast, you need very quick communication. And I'll speak to that a little bit more and how our system handles it. But basically, the high level is texting and a live tracking system when the customer places an order online. Also, customers expect shorter lines when possible. I catch this in myself. I'll go to McDonald's or somewhere and I'll get grumpy after only having to wait 2 or 3 minutes. And in the scheme of things, it's incredible how fast they can push stuff, or at a well-optimized food truck, an owner can push stuff. But the better things get, the more we expect them to be even better. So that's just one of the things, as well as ease of reordering. One way our system is helpful, and other systems can do it too, is that it helps with that secondary order. You want to make the second transaction even easier than the first, specifically if you have a use case where, say, you're doing a brewery service, and maybe the first time the customers come up and they order directly from your food truck, but you've also placed down QR codes with menus in the bar for them to order from their phone. Well, the second time they might just, they might be sitting there chatting with their buddies, having a beer, and they want some extra cheese curds. It's been an hour, hour and a half, and they want a little bit more food, but they really don't want to go stand in line again. And potentially just scanning the code from their phone is less of a burden for them, so they can keep hanging out with their buddies, drinking their beer, whatever, and they can get that second order in. That's a huge win for the merchant, yourself, the food truck, because, hey, even if it's just one extra order of cheese curds, that's helpful extra margin that you wouldn't have got because the person wouldn't have wanted to go through the effort of, all right, I got to bail on my buddies for 10 minutes, go stand outside, etc. All right, I'm going to throw all these on screen, and then speak to them a little bit. So hybrid ordering, like Bill said, is kind of the combination of all these different sales channels. Traditional routes, someone walks up to the cashier, they got credit card, they got cash, whatever. They place their order, double cheeseburger fries, they give a name, and it goes through the process. Online ordering, when I say online, when you see online here, remember it's online like from a computer, but it's also online as in I scanned a QR code from my phone and can order right from my phone and pay, etc. And then scheduled orders are things like pre-orders. You have an event next week. You've set up the event, all your taxes are set, you've done your inventory, set your inventory for the week, all that kind of stuff. And a customer can order pay today, and then you'll have it in your queue when you show up to your event. Our system blends all of these real well together so that you're not having to bounce between disparate systems, one tracking online orders, one tracking in person. One KDS handles all of it. You do have separate sections you could go to check on things ahead of time, but everything will funnel through to the same KDS, and the system will even have throttling features to limit your online ordering so you don't get everyone ordering everything right at noon when you can't possibly produce it all at noon. For online ordering and pre-orders, our system lets you text when the order is ready. That helps with that problem Bill mentioned where you're screaming out the window saying, hey, such and such, your order's ready, and nobody's coming up. Most people, when they're standing around waiting, tend to be on their phones anyways, so something like a text message is right in their face right away. For that, the texting works for in-person, online, and scheduled orders. And then secondarily, for online and online and pre-orders, there's even a real live location tracker. And that enables the person who orders to see in real time how many orders are ahead of them. So as the cook, as the prep people in the food truck are serving down orders, the customer's phone will continue to update saying there's 5 orders ahead of you, there's 4 orders ahead of you, there's 3. And that solves the problem of what I alluded to earlier, where sometimes a customer will place an order to a nebulous system, not see the results they're expecting in 15, 20 minutes, and then they'll walk up to the food truck and be like, hey, I'm such and such, is my food ready? I don't know what's going on. And this removes that distraction, because the last thing you want from a system that's supposed to reduce how much time you need to spend taking orders, actually increasing how much time your cashier has to spend on an order. So our system handles that very well. And we use number of orders, not time, as that's a better estimation, or that's a better metric that meets the need for the customer without giving negative externalities to you if you don't meet the estimated time. I'll say that better here. If you give someone a 10-minute estimate, hey, your food will be ready in 10 minutes. If your order is ready in 8 and the customer gets it 2 minutes early, you don't get any kudos for that. But if takes you 15 minutes when you said 10, they're going to be upset. They might not say anything, but you've lost a few points in their mind by missing that target. So we focus on how many orders, because that gets the information across to the customer that your order has been received, we're working on it, you can see it making progress, but without holding your feet to the fire on a specific time. Another thing is that, again, I mentioned this earlier, our system will handle your location tracking. You go to a place, you open for the day, you have an event for a day, pre-set up, however you do it. It'll show on a map on our website. Here's all the food trucks. Customer can go to our website, click an order, and find where you're at. And then related to that, there's also pre-scheduled tax profiles. That's a big deal for some people. It's a small deal for others. As some places, sales taxes aren't that different place to place, but a lot of places they are. So you can toggle on and off the location you're going to and adjust it as needed pretty easily. All right. Let me go to the next slide here. Hardware side of things. And Bill, jump in if you think I'm missing anything, or I could elaborate a little better on anything.
Oh, you're doing good.
All right, so on the hardware side, one way we try to, I should give a little more background on what EasyEats is. We're a small business. The system you see or that I'm showing or talking about we built it. I'm not selling someone else's product. Myself and a couple of buddies of mine software developers, we built all this. So we're a small business, and we designed it from the start to be as food truck focused as possible. And on the hardware side, what I mean by that is all the hardware we use is cheap and generic. And I don't mean cheap as in poor quality. I mean cheap as in you can easily and quickly replace it at Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon, and it's not expensive. So the point of sale devices, Android tablets, buy it anywhere. That runs our app that handles the point of sale. The KDS devices, which kitchen display screen system, whatever you want to call it, you can have as many of them as you want, and they're literally anything with a web browser. It can be, don't use your phone, but like you could use your phone in a backup, Android tablet, iPad, an old laptop. You can have as many of them as you want, no extra cost. You don't have, like with Square, you have to buy their specific device, and it's per device, and they charge you monthly per device. Whereas with us, it's as many as you want, whatever device you want to use. The only piece that you can't pre-buy is the credit card reader. We offer multiple credit card processors. Another slight difference between like us and a Clover or Square is with those guys, you go with their processor. Like their merchant service is basically built into the point of sale system. It's one and the same. For us, we offer multiple ones, and you choose the one based on what makes most sense for you for your business. And then from them, you get the credit card reader. So that's the one thing that you can't just go to Best Buy and buy, but everything else you can. Another thing we recommend, this is recommendations, dedicated hotspot. Pretty much all point of sale systems need one, and we recommend a dedicated one. You can hotspot off your phone, but usually people will struggle with that from time to time. They'll walk off with their phone, that type of thing. So dedicated device is ideal if you can afford it and you do a lot of large events. I recommend Starlink is the absolute best, because if you're doing a concert with 10,000 people out in the middle of nowhere and there's one cell tower, it's best to not be using the same network as those people. And if you're using Starlink with a little satellite receiver on your truck, you'll never have problems as long as their system doesn't go down. I think I'll skip the next one there. All right, so let's chat real quick about like a rush playbook, kind of a lunch rush and how it would look. So you have an event, let's say it's next week, 10:30. You create a event for it, either beforehand and enable pre-orders, which is the ideal way to go. Doesn't make sense in every case. So if you don't do that, when you get there that day, you would open, which would put your location on a map and would enable your mobile orders. If you had set it up the week prior, you would have already had pre-orders going. Your location would have already appeared on the map saying, hey, you're going to be at this location a week from now. And you would show up with hopefully a bunch of pre-orders. Then you go live, it's open, and you just start taking orders. For online orders and pre-orders, there's a throttle system. So it takes a little bit of figuring out your own process, exactly how much you want to throttle. But what I mean by that is you set how many dollars worth of orders per like 10-minute block you want to get. And that keeps you from getting overloaded. Because the last thing you want is everyone wants their food right at noon and everyone just ordering for that pickup time, because then you can't handle that. So the system helps spread out your demand curve basically over the 2 hours that you're open or hour and a half that you're open. The KDS will also show the items. I don't have a picture of it here, but the kitchen display screen has the running list of every order and the items within it, of course. Name, phone number, dollar amount, all the things you would need if you needed it. In the top right.
Behind you, Warren.
What's that? Oh, yeah, it is. This guy right here.
Yep.
And in the very top left, this guy up here, this section, if I can outline it half decently, is the all-day summary. And it's showing the total, regardless of who ordered it, of the items that have been ordered. And it will update, of course, as new orders come in and orders get served off. That's highly useful, and one main advantage to digital systems over a paper ticket is it can do that aggregation for you, and you can just see in total, right now, I need to have 4 orders of chicken fingers down in the fryer, regardless of, well, I'm going to need one in 1 minute for the next order, or the next batch in 3 minutes for the next order after that, etc. So most of the time you're working off the main order queue, but there's this extra little box that has your all-day summary and helps you maximize your throughput when you're getting slammed, because yeah, I need to have 4 orders of chicken fingers and some tots down and all the other stuff. And then once you serve the order, once the cashier has served the order, or not the cashier, the expediter, who's ever handing it out, sometimes that's the cashier. They serve the order, it'll text the customer and complete that process as I spoke to a little bit before. All right, I did jump ahead a little bit and kind of half spoke to some of these things. Yeah, so there's basically what I was talking about. The system will enable you to throttle it by dollar amount to maximize your speed of service while not getting overloaded right at noon. Again, you don't want to be swamped with 30 orders right at noon. You want it smoothed over at 12, 12:10, 12:20, 12:30 so you can process through all of it without upsetting a customer who thinks they're going to get it right at noon and it's 12:30 before they have it. Let's see, I spoke to this a little bit before, but related to the location tracking system, there's basically tax profiles, sales tax profiles that you set up. And this can be done granularly or like in an aggregate, meaning you can set the total tax rate for a given event, 9.25%, and just toggle it on, and the system takes care of it from there. Or you can do it kind of a build-up level where I'm at, we have state sales tax, county sales tax, city sales tax, and then depending on what counties and cities are in, some transit fees, some sales tax. So you could build it layer by layer and just toggle on the ones that make sense in your area if you want to track it at that more granular level. That's what I recommend. Some people, for simplicity, will just do the total and kind of go from there. But all these various things help your staff to focus on the food and production as well as your customers and minimize back office errors or issues that might come up. Things still happen from time to time, but generally, the more you can set up beforehand, the more you can focus on your food and production and the other problem-solving skills you have to deploy. You thought you had 2 buckets of mayo and you only have 1, so you have to work around that when you're on the truck, and you want to be able to focus on those things. All right, close to the end of slides here. As I mentioned earlier, we're a small business. And what that basically means is I don't have $1 billion a year to do marketing on like a Square would. But what we do have is a pretty good product. And how we show that off is we let anyone, for any reason, set up a demo account and basically test out the whole system without having to talk to a salesman that's going to push you into something. You just go onto our website, create a demo account, and it will let you do everything but charge credit cards because you don't have a merchant servicer piece set up at that point. But you can download our app, you can place test orders, you can see how the website would look with your menu items on it. You'll see how the texting works, all that type of stuff. And we're not going to hound you, you're not committing to anything, just you've got the demo, and if you decide to use the system, awesome. You just push a couple buttons and your demo will turn into a real live account. If not, hey, thank you for checking out our business. Thanks for giving a small business a chance, and I appreciate your time. And then lastly, I think I have on here is if you want to deep dive into speed of service, definitely join Bill's masterclass on that, as he's very good on the operational side. I'm more obviously point of sale and how we fit into that, but he's going to really be able to nail the operational side for things like speed of service and how to maximize that. So if you're interested, definitely check out his masterclass on that. And with that, I think, do I have another slide here? Oh, one more, yep. So then on that note, definitely try turning on hybrid ordering if you have a system or are interested in our system, as it does help with your maximizing your throughput. Again, my use case, I hopefully explained well enough at the beginning of, in a brewery setting, getting that one extra order because you've got QR codes on a table that a customer can scan either for the first order or to the follow-up orders. It gets you that little extra revenue. And once you're there, once you're set up, once you're paying for the labor, whoever you got there, like that extra order of cheese curds, just getting a couple of those really adds up over time. So I think that's all I got.
Yep, I think so.
Okay, I'll hand it
You
back
did
to
an
you.
awesome job. Thank you so much. I want to
Yep.
say one thing about Easy Eats. I've known Warren it's been at least 5 years, isn't it? At least.
Something like that. Yeah.
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 And he just came into the group and said, "Hey, I'd love for you to look at my product and allow us to talk about it on your group," which is unusual. Most people think that a Facebook group is free reign. They can do whatever the heck they want. I talked to Warren. It was probably a 2 or 3 hour conversation, and he shared how EasyEats works. And I was impressed just off the little demo that he did. And he set up, the same demo account that you can do. You can mess with it. You can do whatever the heck you want with it. And I was impressed because remember, I've done a lot of POS systems, and this one was easy, very user friendly, and I like the ability to have that all day notification that's on the KDS as well as the individual orders. And I definitely love being able to have that automatic text to let people know the food is up.
Yep.
So I am 100% for EasyEats. We use it on our food truck today. So if you guys have any questions, now's the time. I know we ran a little late and a little long, but anybody that got in late, definitely going to get the recording. We'll send you that link as soon as we get it. I'll optimize and upload it, but you'll have that link as well.
All right, so we have a few questions that came in right here at the end, so we're going to rapid fire through this.
Okay.
First one was, how do I sign up for the masterclass? So thank you, Warren, for mentioning that. Bill has offered a masterclass series the past few years. And if you are an NSFVA member, you get all of this year included in your membership. So I believe Speed of Service was June's masterclass. So we have the 90-minute recording. Bill has trained a ChatGPT bot to answer questions about that topic with every single one of his monthly topics, as well as Excel sheets and PDFs, all these resources. So if you're interested in signing up for that, reach out to us at info@nsfva.org. We'll get you the details on becoming a member. Another question here about thoughts on best card reader fees.
Fees or the card, like merchant servicer within our system, or the actual credit card readers themselves?
So it's Bill's question. He says best card reader fees. I don't know, Bill, if you want to expand upon that.
Well,
Oh, sorry, not you, Bill.
Right.
Other
Yeah,
Bill.
just- I had to, sorry, I had to unmute. Yeah, and it's in regards to what they're charging for the swipes for the credit cards.
Gotcha. So we support 3 different credit card processors. They're all slightly cheaper than Square, but everyone has a nuance to it. We offer different ones because different food truckers are different places. Some are doing $40,000 a month in sales. Some are hobbyists that are maybe only out on the weekend doing $5,000 a month in sales. So we partner with multiple credit card processors all on our website. If you're a larger volume truck, I tend to point people towards CardPoint. They're basically a division of Clover, but we get better rates. And the reason for that is because they have the best rates generally, but you have to jump through a couple of hoops. Like you have to do a PCI compliance survey once a year, and they have a minimum service amount. Like you have to do $3,000 or $2,000 a month in sales, or they hit you with a fee. So for big trucks, that doesn't matter. And I point people towards that. Otherwise, one of our other partners, First Nationwide Payments / Tilde, their back end is through TSYS, if I remember correctly. They're better for like small and mid-sized food trucks because their fees are similar, but they don't have the system minimums, nor do you have to do that PCI compliance thing, which for more seasonal trucks, people tend to forget about it. And the last thing I want is people to get hit with dumb fees. So that would be my long-winded answer. Hopefully that got you what you needed.
I think we have time for 1 or 2 more here. Warren, question for you. Does EasyEats allow Square processing for online orders? I know it does.
Not online. So Square's our hidden 4th processor. We do technically support them for in-person, but that's more of like a backup legacy thing. We just never built the pipes for the online piece of it, and we have no reason to now because every other processor that we have is materially cheaper than them when it comes to online ordering. Square Online is like 3% plus 30, if I remember correctly. 3% plus 30 cents per transaction. All of our other options are better than that. And there's some complexity to that depending on your average volume size and stuff like that. But I can confidently say they're all better than that. So So no, but that's why.
Perfect. I guess one final question here. If someone's got more questions about cost, who should they reach out to kind of get all their questions answered, Warren?
Anything specific, feel free to email me or reach out to our phone number, Warren at EasyEats, XYZ, or you can give us a call. We don't hide anything. Like everything's on our website. Our prices, our credit card prices, the processors, their prices, the credit card readers, all that type of stuff. We're in a pretty good place from a pricing standpoint that we can do that. A lot of point of sale systems, you go to their website, you can't find their price because their price is high, and they need you to talk to someone first to try to get you committed to the system before they'll tell you all the details. We're in a pretty good place when it comes to general pricing, so I can put everything on and be straightforward because it's market competitive. So, but to answer the question, reach out to me or my team, give us a call. Happy to answer any questions.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining today. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this webinar. Stay tuned to our social media, our Facebook, our Instagram. We're going to be offering sessions like this on a monthly basis. If you have questions for Warren, please reach out to him directly. If you got questions for us, contact us at NSFVA, but we'll let everyone get back to their Wednesday. Thanks again for joining.
Bye, everyone.